Alamo.alicum. Welcome back to our channel, Digital Future AI School. Silently subscribe our channel, like and share with friends, and this is the episode 13 and chapter 13 of Book AI, Your Smartest Partner in Life and Work, written by Mr. Zahir Ahmadmir. Welcome to the deep dive. While we often focus on AI's impact on business or, global strategy, today we're undertaking one of the most vital deep dives we've ever done because it's so deeply personal.
It really is.
The focus is squarely on how artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping family life, childhood development, and, perhaps most importantly, the entire structure of children's education. We're looking at a transformation in how the next generation learns, thinks, and ultimately, how they grow up.
That's absolutely right. The core idea coming out of this chapter, the big picture hook we need to grab onto, is that we're entering an era where AI becomes a kind of great equalizer.
An equalizer? How so?
Well, every child, regardless of their family's economic background or where they live, can now potentially access resources that were historically just for the elite.
Right, things like private tutors.
Exactly. Imagine a dedicated, personalized tutor, a professional language coach, creativity partner, all of that available 24/7 right in your home. It basically democratizes academic excellence almost overnight.
And it's crucial that we acknowledge the boundary here.
Yeah.
My initial thought is that this isn't about replacement.
No, absolutely not.
AI can't, and frankly, it shouldn't replace parents or teachers or the essential human values that you learn from your community. But the sources frame it as this incredibly powerful, this sophisticated support system.
A tool.
A tool, yeah. A tool designed to empower those human guides. It helps them shoulder the massive cognitive and educational load required to raise a smarter, more confident, and future-ready generation.
And that really is the mission for this deep dive. Our task is to explain in detail how AI can enrich family life responsibly, providing that educational scaffolding for children with safety, wisdom, and a long-term vision guiding every step. We'll look at the practical minute-by-minute applications, the specialized skills it can build, and the profound shifts in educational philosophy the author highlights.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the revolution.
Let's do it.
So let's start with the educational core, what the source calls personalized learning. The idea that AI brings personalized learning, which, like you said, was once restricted to wealthy families or elite private schools, to every single child. I mean, that's transformative.
It's completely transformative. It's maybe the biggest philosophical shift in education since, compulsory schooling began.
That's a huge claim.
But think about the historical bottleneck. If a child struggled with a specific concept, say long division or photosynthesis, the traditional system was just inflexible.
Right, you had to wait for the teacher to have time or
the parent had to afford a costly one-on-one tutor. Now, that entire barrier just dissolves. AI offers immediate, customized, and infinitely patient attention that genuinely mirrors the very best private instruction.
But it's zero marginal cost.
At zero marginal cost, that's the key.
And when we really dive into the specifics of these AI tutor functions, it's so comprehensive. It's far more than just a search engine.
Oh, much more.
The core mechanism seems to be this adaptive learning. The AI can adjust precisely to a child's unique pace, which is so vital for actually mastering a topic.
Yes. The underlying insight here is that AI forces a pedagogical shift. Education is no longer a fixed schedule based on the school calendar. It becomes this infinite loop of refinement defined purely by whether the student has mastered the material.
So the system bends to the child, not the other way around.
Exactly. And critically, AI tutors simplify difficult concepts. This is so often where the frustration builds for both the learner and the parent trying to help.
I think every parent knows that feeling.
Right. The AI explains it gently, using different methods, text, audio, a little animation, and maybe its greatest superpower is its ability to repeat an explanation for the 10th or 20th or 100th time without ever showing frustration.
That psychological safety?
Yeah.
That's huge for a struggling learner. A human teacher, however dedicated, has finite emotional energy. The AI's patience is limitless.
Absolutely paramount for building genuine academic confidence. And on the technical side, it's all about execution and data. It adapts seamlessly to different learning styles.
So if you have a visual learner,
they instantly get complex diagrams generated for them. Auditory learners get verbal explanations. Kinesthetic learners get prompts for little activities they can do. It's constantly adjusting.
And what about the practical help, the day-to-day stuff?
Well, consider the sheer volume of it. It can generate quizzes on demand, targeted exactly to what was just reviewed. It tracks progress, providing this long-term data that can identify patterns of error over weeks and months.
So it's not just a snapshot, it's a movie of their learning journey.
Precisely. It prepares revision notes based specifically on the child's past mistakes, focusing only on the weak spots. And of course, it assists with homework, providing support without just giving away the final answer.
For the parent, this must completely change their role at home. The AI becomes a real teaching partner.
It does. Parents are no longer burdened with becoming experts in 10th grade chemistry after a long day at work.
A huge relief.
They can shift into being supervisors, encouragers, and guides, relying on the AI for the heavy lifting of content delivery. It just reduces that parental guilt and burnout.
That reduction of friction at the dinner table, no more fighting over fractions, that might be one of the biggest immediate benefits for family harmony.
I think you're right.
So this is where it gets really interesting for me, how this personalized tutoring translates into core academic success. The source talks about strengthening core academic skills. Let's start with reading comprehension, because that's the gateway to everything else.
Right. We're moving beyond just being able to read the words and into deep understanding. The sources detail how AI strengthens reading skills through, advanced natural language processing.
So what does that look like in practice?
It can take a complex piece of literature or a dense science text, simplify it into digestible parts, and then explain complex vocabulary right there in context.
So no more stopping to look up a word in the dictionary and losing the flow.
Exactly. It reduces the cognitive load on the child, letting them focus on the narrative, the argument, the bigger ideas, instead of getting stuck.
And the comprehension part is key to active learning. I saw it mentions highlighting main ideas and asking questions.
Yes, and those questions are generated on the fly based on the text they're reading right now. It ensures the child is actually engaged. It's testing for true conceptual understanding, not just rote recall.
And if they get it wrong?
If they answer incorrectly, the AI pinpoints where the conceptual gap is and focuses just on that area until the gap closes. That level of targeted instant intervention is just impossible in a classroom of 30 kids.
Okay, let's move to writing skills. We've all used grammar checkers, but this sounds like it goes way beyond that.
Oh, miles beyond. While it certainly improves grammar and teaches sentence structure, its function as a creativity partner is fascinating.
A creativity partner?
Yeah, it uses generative AI to help kids overcome writer's block. It can create context-specific prompts or help scaffold an outline when a child is just staring at a blank page. It helps them expand their creativity, acting like a dedicated writing coach who never runs out of ideas.
That idea of an automated brainstorming partner sounds amazing. But I have to push back a little here. Doesn't this risk creating a generation of students who just turn to the machine the second they hit a creative block? Are we launching creativity, or are we building a crutch?
That's a critical question, and the sources do address it later when they talk about responsible boundaries. But for the academic task itself, the AI is designed to model the process. It doesn't just give the answer. It helps the student structure the argument, define the thesis, and practice the syntax. If used correctly, it's an amplifier. The child sees how a well-formed sentence is built, learns that structure, and internalizes it. The scaffolding is meant to be removed.
That makes sense. It's about demonstrating technique. Okay, what about mathematics? The subject that causes so much anxiety.
For so many. The sources show AI covering the entire spectrum, from basic arithmetic and fractions right up through algebra, geometry, word problems, and even abstract logical thinking.
So what's the secret sauce there?
Transparency. It's all about meticulous, step-by-step explanations. When a child makes a mistake, the AI doesn't just mark it wrong with a big red X.
Right.
It walks them back through the logic to see exactly where the faulty assumption or calculation happened. This capability is crucial for building logical thinking, which is a meta skill that goes way beyond math. It teaches them how to think.
And finally, science basics. Things like biology, chemistry.
Yeah.
They can be so abstract.
Very abstract. And they often rely on visualization. AI excels here. It can explain complex science by simplifying experiments, generating diagrams, and using simple, age-appropriate language. It turns abstract principles into concrete, observable ideas.
It's like animating the textbook.
That's a perfect way to put it. If a child is confused about energy transfer, the AI can generate a quick, dynamic simulation showing the concept in action. This multimodal approach just maximizes retention and makes sure that foundational knowledge is rock solid.
That deep dive into academic skills brings us right to our next part, which is about engagement and specialized skills. The source highlights this learning as play philosophy.
Yes, and this is a core psychological insight. Children learn best when the process is enjoyable, when it's not threatening. No matter how perfect the curriculum is, if a child is bored, the learning just doesn't stick.
And it has to compete with so much other digital entertainment.
That's the challenge. Education has to compete for attention with video games, streaming, social media. AI recognizes this and transforms education into genuine play. The source calls it an engagement engine.
So what are some examples of that?
It creates story-based lessons, cartoon-style explanations that inject a narrative into what might otherwise be a dry subject.
Instead of a worksheet, you get...
You get gamified quizzes, interactive activities where failure is just a consequence-free chance to try again. The source also mentions challenge-based homework, which frames tasks as missions or quests to be solved.
That taps right into a child's innate desire for accomplishment.
Exactly, and that creative fuel applies everywhere. Generating creative writing prompts, simple experiment instructions, visual diagrams. It's all designed to make kids excited to learn rather than anxious or bored, and that's a massive difference.
Now, what about Section 4, the global language coach? The source makes a really bold claim here, calling AI the best language tutor ever created.
It is a bold claim, but when you look at the technical capabilities, it's pretty hard to argue with.
Why does it excel so much in this specific role?
It's the combination of unlimited practice and non-judgmental immersion. AI prepares children for a globalized world by allowing constant, high-fidelity practice in major languages. English, Urdu, Arabic, Chinese, French, Spanish. It's like instant immersion without having to travel.
And the mechanics of it go beyond just translation, right?
Oh yeah, instant translation is helpful, but it's superficial. The real value is in the rigorous grammar explanation, the vocabulary building, and practicing real conversational flow. But for me, the instant granular correction of pronunciation is the absolute game changer.
Explain that.
Most human tutors, unless they're trained phoneticians, just don't have the time for the constant, tiny phonetic corrections you need for true fluency. AI uses sophisticated speech recognition. It can listen to a child speak, immediately identify even subtle deviations from a native sound pattern, and gently correct them over and over.
So you can practice until you get it right.
For hours a day, year after year. This level of personalized, intensive language immersion was just unimaginable for the average family a few years ago.
Let's shift now to Section 5, which is a very specialized but really important area for many families, supporting Islamic and moral education.
Right. And this section is very careful to emphasize AI's role is in assisting and reinforcing, not replacing, human guides.
So it's a resource, not the teacher.
Exactly. It can structure and deliver specific content in an accessible way. This includes things like Quranic Arabic explanation, summaries of the Sirah, the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, daily du'as, and hadith summaries.
And it can present them in a way that's consistent and age-appropriate, which can be hard to find online.
That's a key point. It helps ensure children get structured exposure to these core values and stories, often in a narrative format, like Islamic stories that focus on moral development.
But the source is very clear about the boundary.
Extremely clear. The author reiterates that AI assists and reinforces the knowledge base. It does not replace religious teachers or scholars. These subjects require human nuance, wisdom, interpretation, and community. The AI is the teaching aid, freeing up the human teacher to focus on mentorship and spiritual development.
So it provides the reliable foundation, but the human remains the architect of character.
The perfect summary.
Okay, now we shift into Part 3, which focuses on the parents themselves. Section 6 is titled AI for Parenting, a helper for moms and dads. What's fascinating here is that the AI isn't just for the child. It's a direct helper for the crushing cognitive load that modern parents carry.
That's right. I mean, parenting is arguably the most complex, demanding job there is, and AI is stepping in as this incredibly sophisticated guidance system and administrative assistant.
So it's addressing that decision fatigue.
Absolutely. Let's break down the advice categories. AI can be an immediate private resource. Instead of digging through 3 parenting books at midnight when a crisis hits, a parent can ask for evidence-based advice on handling specific challenges.
Like what?
Child psychology, behavior management, peer conflicts. It synthesizes proven discipline strategies and offers practical approaches for effective communication, especially with teenagers. It's like having instant access to a library of peer-reviewed parenting literature summarized for your specific situation.
And beyond the psychological, there's the logistical side.
A huge part of it. Its role in daily organization and planning. This offloads all those constant minor mental tasks. We're talking about optimizing school routines, generating varied and healthy lunchbox ideas.
Which is a surprisingly high-friction daily task for many parents.
It really is. Also, setting up homework schedules, planning family trips with personalized itineraries, creating study timetables, that saved cognitive load is immense.
And the sources even mention emotional support for parents.
Yeah, this addresses the stressful, often isolating side of parenting. AI can help parents talk through stressful situations, process challenging behavior from an objective standpoint, and plan healthier family communication. It's like a neutral, reflective sounding board.
And by making the parent calmer and more prepared, it directly strengthens the parent-child relationship.
That's the end goal.
Now, what about Section 7? Identifying the child's learning DNA. This sounds like data science applied to education.
That's exactly what it is. It's moving far beyond simple grades to truly analyze, predict, and prescribe based on observable learning patterns.
So it's the difference between a report card that says, needs improvement in math.
And an analysis that shows why. Was it a lack of foundational knowledge,
Right.
distraction, a mismatch in how the material was presented? It identifies not just where a child excels, but where they consistently struggle, and the precise learning patterns around that struggle.
How does it do that?
It tracks micro-interactions, how quickly they answer, how often they revisit a concept, how long they hover over a diagram. This allows it to pinpoint the preferred learning style. Is the child visual, auditory, reading-based, or activity-based?
And once it knows that,
It can guide parents and teachers to tailor the child's educational journey precisely. If you know a child is an activity-based learner, forcing them to sit and read dense textbooks will be predictably ineffective.
but this reliance on data, it does raise a concern. We're trusting a machine to define a child's DNA. What about algorithmic bias? What if it incorrectly labels a child based on flawed historical data?
A very important challenge. And any system is only as good as the data it trains on. A well-designed system, like the one implied here, is constantly testing its own hypotheses against real-world performance, constantly refining its model. The purpose isn't to cage the child within a label.
It's a starting point.
It's a starting blueprint for the human guides, the parents and teachers. The human element must always have the final power of interpretation and intervention.
Okay, that brings us to part 4, future readiness and digital citizenship. We'll start with safety, Section 8, AI as protector. This hits on the anxiety every parent has about putting powerful tools in their kids' hands.
Right, and AI is designed to be a layered protective system. The primary functions are proactive content filtering and blocking inappropriate material using advanced analysis that goes way beyond simple keywords.
And screen time.
A vital role. Monitoring screen time to ensure that balance between digital learning and real-world physical and social activity is maintained. But a more advanced function is detecting cyberbullying.
How does that work?
By analyzing conversational patterns, sentiment, and language, AI can often identify distress signals or predatory behavior, potentially alerting a parent before a child even feels comfortable sharing the issue. It's an immense safety net.
But it's not just about blocking bad things.
No, it's also about proactive education. AI is tasked with teaching responsible digital citizenship. That means crucial soft skills like digital ethics, online manners, and responsible communication. It prepares them to navigate the digital world safely and ethically.
From safety to opportunity. Section 9 is about early career guidance. This feels like a big shift from the traditional model.
It is. Usually, career guidance starts late in high school after a lot of choices have already been made. AI facilitates what the source calls proactive discovery, starting much, much earlier.
And the benefit of that is motivation.
A huge boost to motivation and confidence. When a young student understands why they are learning algebra, because it's a building block for the simulated engineering projects they love doing, the effort suddenly has context and purpose.
What do these exploration tools look like?
They're highly interactive. Quizzes, personality assessments, but also immersive simulations. A child can digitally step into the shoes of a forensic scientist, a doctor, an engineer, and experience scaled-down versions of real-world tasks.
So they discover their interests early before the stakes are high.
Exactly. And that drives sustained motivation and prepares them for the future AI-powered careers that are coming.
And finally, in this section, family activities enhanced by AI. This really pushes back against the idea that tech is always isolating.
It does. It suggests AI can deepen family relationships by facilitating shared experiences. It becomes an activity director, turning the device into a communal tool.
Give me some examples.
Organizing personalized trivia games based on the family's shared interests. Generating safe home science experiments or cooking recipes that require teamwork.
So it's creating reasons to collaborate.
Yes, providing art and craft ideas, planning family trips, suggesting movies, and I love this detail, generating storytelling sessions, and unique Islamic bedtime stories. It's a modern, personalized twist on a timeless bonding ritual.
It becomes a catalyst for connection, not isolation.
That's the idea.
We've established that AI is this incredibly powerful presence in the home, which brings us to a critical question outlined in Section 11. How do we use it responsibly? It all comes down to setting boundaries.
The sources are crystal clear on this. The ultimate responsibility remains 100% with the parent. AI is a tool of unprecedented power, but parental oversight and guidance are the non-negotiable foundations.
And the sources list some specific responsibilities.
They do. It starts with strict screen time limits. Just because the world's best tutor is available 24/7 doesn't mean the child should use it 24/7. Active supervision of learning sessions is crucial.
And teaching them how to use it ethically.
Absolutely. This is a new form of ethical instruction. Parents must explicitly explain the right and wrong uses of AI. For example, using it to understand a concept for your essay is right. Using it to write the whole essay for you is cheating. That requires consistent dialogue.
And what about that creativity crush we talked about earlier?
That's another key point. Actively encouraging creativity beyond AI. If a child relies too heavily on it for every idea, they miss developing that internal well of imagination. AI should be a launch pad, not a replacement for original thought.
The core principle here is that AI supports parenting, it never replaces it.
Paramount. If parents step away and let AI raise the child, all the pedagogical benefits will be offset by severe emotional and developmental problems down the road.
That responsible usage leads directly to the final section. AI as the new literacy. The idea that we're teaching a foundational skill, like reading or writing.
Exactly. Reading literacy gives you access to accumulated human knowledge. AI literacy allows you to interface with and leverage the fastest evolving technology on the planet. It's the new interface for knowledge work.
And the long-term benefits are cognitive enhancement.
That's what the sources suggest. Children who learn to collaborate with AI early are likely to think better, write better, learn faster, and solve problems more effectively because they have this powerful analytical partner.
And that leads to more confidence.
It does. They become more confident, stay ahead in school, and gain future-ready skills. We're entering an era where nearly every knowledge career will be AI-powered. Learning how to collaborate with AI is, quite simply, the new required skill set for success.
Okay, this has been an incredibly detailed journey. Let's try to synthesize this. AI's role in the family unit and education. What's the final summary?
The sources define the boundaries of the partnership very clearly. AI empowers parents. It doesn't replace them. It strengthens teachers. It doesn't replace them. And it enhances learning. It doesn't replace the need for human curiosity and effort.
Used wisely, it becomes this multifunctional presence. Tutor, helper, protector, creative partner, planner, skill builder, and even a moral educator.
As long as it's guided by strong parental values. The ultimate outcome, according to the sources, is raising a generation that is not just smarter academically, but also more emotionally resilient, more confident, and inherently future-ready. It's about building capacity in every domain of a child's life.
That holistic view, the fusion of personalized academics and informed character development, that seems to be the real takeaway.
It is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this deep dive has shown how AI is a sophisticated toolkit for maximizing a child's potential. But the whole conversation has focused heavily on the immediate, tangible benefits of AI in families.
A very compelling and optimistic picture.
It is, but for you, the listener, to mull over. If AI is successfully integrated into parenting and education to this extent, enhancing emotional intelligence and problem solving, creating a generation that's exceptionally adept, what are the potential unforeseen human challenges when these children begin to interact with equally advanced AI systems that can simulate deep emotional connection, empathy, and maybe even intimacy?
Wow.
When the difference between the human and the artificial becomes vanishingly small in emotional scenarios, how do we ensure we preserve authentic, balanced human lives?
That is a profoundly provocative question that bridges the gap between today's practical guidance and tomorrow's ethical reality.
And that leads us directly to our next deep dive. We'll be transitioning to the next important topic in the book, which dives right into the heart of that challenge: AI, emotions, relationships, and artificial intimacy, and how to ensure healthy, balanced human lives in the digital age.
We hope this comprehensive deep dive into AI and the family unit has given you actionable insights and a clear perspective.
Mhm.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.
We encourage you to continue your deep dive into the world of AI and the future of our partnership with technology. Until next time.